Say the market's a war zone, but every king once was a rookie with a chart and a dream. Fibonacci, Fibonacci, retrace the pain, reclaim the name. The ascent. Born where the hustle met math on the curve. Turn numbers to visions, now I meant every word. Did the homework, the charts just confirmed the nerve. Now I'm talking in profits, every candle I serve. Used to count pennies, now I'm counting pips. Same grind, just the decimals flip. Still fight fear like roaming the mist. One hand on the mouse, other hand on the fist. I don't fold, disciplined soldiers code. Trend line scars from the past I wrote. Mind shop like Fibonacci mode. Pull back, reload, then I said explode. Legacy talk, this ain't luck or fate. It's JD the Great, no retest, no debate. From the basement to the charts ornate. Every loss was a line in the empire I create. Every pullback is proof for the climb. Gotta fall in line before you redefine. All the blocks in my heart, structure in my grind. JD the Great, one of one, one of a kind. Support to the throne, I don't wait for signs. I build them brick by brick, line, line. All the blocks in my heart, structure in my grind. JD the Great, one of one, one of a kind. I'm talking pain turn pattern, losses turn ladder. Candles don't matter when your purpose fat. A gladiator in a hoodie, not toga or shield, but the spirit the same when I step on the field. They swinged out, I parry with patience. I'm trending regardless of market's vibration. They want fame, I want foundation. Charts ain't luck, it's daily dedication. Talk discipline, that's my dialect. Focus so strong, it rejects regret. They chase clout, I chase respect. Good morning, my neighbors. Welcome to another episode of BYTTT Get Rich or Fit Trying Mashup. We're gonna go ahead and get really into it. Today, I want to cover in the middle of our live trades today. We're gonna be breaking down the difference between scalping and swing trading and how it impacts your contract selection, so that way you can pick the right contract and be able to go forward from there. All right, so without further ado, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and the bell button. That way it lets the algorithm know that I bring you some good content when it's all said and done, and share it to your friends and family. Down below, if you want to sign up, Compound Alerts, excuse me, Compound Alerts, which is my Compound Command Central, is available. Go ahead and click the link, subscribe, and have access to one of the most robust alert systems. I'm over here blending words together. Robust alert systems that's available in the market now. So that said, let's go ahead and look at NQ in itself and see what we can find over here. So we got ourselves a little bit of a downtrend that's happening here, but I'm very curious on how strong this uptrend is going to be. If you haven't been on my show before, we do open and range breakouts, but the most important thing is you got to have some type of sense or bias of what the market's going to do, and this is where everything kind of started. We had a nice little uptrend that continued from this side, and we're now putting some pressure. Remember, there's no such thing as a higher high without a higher low. So when we made this higher high right here, that is our higher low that created that. So we are struggling to get back above this level and putting pressure to the most recent bears that's been holding price down from us getting to 25,000. So that's going to be very critical on your decision making as you're trying to get into your trade. So let's find ourselves a nice little setup. Let's start talking about the opening range. So the first 15 minutes, if it was to close today, we'll check out that ticker in a little bit. If it was to close right now, it would look something like this, right? Our opening range would be bullish above that 24,879. Stranger danger is a place where price just you know, it reacts like a magnet or it repels like a Barry Bonds hit. So we're going to see what happens at 8:48, and then 8:16 is our low as we try to put some pressure on this upside movement. That said, I'm looking for this thing to break up this upside. Let's see if we can get some momentum, grab the sell side liquidity that's sitting here, and maybe we could get a nice little pop, get into 25,000. All right, so let's go ahead and mark off some other areas of interest. During the time of the London session, where are you? Nope, too far. Where are we? Where are we? Okay, there it is. So we barely moved at all during the whole entire session. So here's our Asian session opening range. Let's go ahead and mark this off. That is our Asian. Beam, beam. And then at 3 a.m. is when London starts. That's our area right here. Now there is indicators that will provide you this, and by all means, if you want to do that, that's fine. I am nostalgic. I like to draw my charts so that way I can see things and not rely on the indicators mathematical calculation. That's just preference. So if you find something that's a little bit easier, by all means, there's a reason why the calculator is made. You know, I just take pen to paper and do it myself. All right, so we can kind of see we're getting a little bit of a consolidation here. This is starting to build an order block here. Let's come up to a higher time frame so I can point out what I mean by that. If we look at it as a whole, we are not really going anywhere, and we're sitting on top of multiple fair value gaps. Let's go ahead and mark off some of them. We got one right here. Let's go ahead and put you there. That is a bullish fair value gap. And then we got one that's right here that is letting us know, hey, we got ourselves a little bit of a problem trying to get to the rest of this overall fair value gap. I'm gonna mark it off, but I'm gonna delete it right after, which is this bearish fair value gap that we've been filling throughout yesterday. So right now we're trying to see if the muscle here can hold us up. Well, we're gonna have to check out UNH, see what's going on over there, and see what they have for us. Let's go ahead and check out some other stuff. Oil's still in its order block. It's being really, really difficult on trying to decide what it wants to do. But I love cheaper oil prices. We can go with that. Gold is trying to hold that 4,000, and they're doing a really, really good job. And then we got ourselves silver that is doing its job as well. We are starting to push up on silver, so this should drag gold up with it. So look for higher gold prices. The more silver starts to get bullish. The British pound is starting to recover, which is going to put pressure on the US dollar, allowing for our markets to go ahead and push right back up. Think of it as the British pound kind of follows the market. If they're going up, we usually go up. This is Bitcoin. This thing is starting to hold that 80,000. I don't think Warren Buffett's going to get that 75,000. Russell's starting to recover just like everything else. And then the dollar is falling like a lead weight. After it touched its order block, mark your levels. It's not that hard, and you'll be able to kind of predict what can happen. Hence the reason why I did not take no overnight puts, was because something like this could have happened. All right, so let's get back over to NQ, and then I'm going to go ahead and adjust my opening range, making sure I have everything. All right, it's still looking good. Still trying to figure out if this break of structure is going to give us a change of character. Let's run over to the tickers and see what is it exactly they have for us. Let me put that up here so I can find that a little bit easier. Let's see, we got our sales. UNH, Apple, Johnson & Johnson. Actually, let's talk about Johnson & Johnson real quick. Funny, we did this in our charting class. This thing is still pushing up like it has no chance of coming down. We just spiked up a little bit higher too. So look for Johnson & Johnson. I'm going to erase all these drawings for like 2 seconds. This is a 15-minute play. It just kind of ran away. I want to say get into it now, but what I'm looking at is something similar to this. Let's go ahead and call it BAM. Entry right around the entry level right here. So if this 15-minute candle closes above 205, look for some option contracts to 210, and that's probably going to go ahead and give you a nice little scalp trade to see if we can get up there. Now, the funny thing about it, if it gets to TP1, which a lot of that TP1, so give me 1 second. All right, got the little ones over here. But yeah, so 205 would be our close above, but we already got a lot of that sell side liquidity at 206s, 207. So a stop at 207.50 would be choice after it retraces with a strong close. So you want a strong close above here, and the risk is stop loss at 204, somewhere around here. but our target is going to be right around here at 207. We'll see how that pans out. Let me see what else I have for y'all. We got Uber. Let's look at Uber. All right, Uber in the 30-minute. Let's see what we have. This one is slightly different. Actually, I'm going to have to come over to one of my other indicators. Let's see what they have for us on Uber. Let's grab that. All right, Uber 30-minute. Okay, so we got ourselves. Looks like we got some Uber calls. I'll take that back. It's 15-minute. Uber calls. And it is being driven by the price action that is provided here. Let me go ahead and mark it off for y'all. So we're looking for an entry above 84.13, about $1 movement. So quick scalp on that one as well. All right, so let's go ahead and keep this party going. Let's get back over to NQ. And let's get back into the 15-minute. All right, so right now our 15 minutes starting to really push. There goes our oscillators. Looks like we're getting a little bit downside. Let's go ahead and zoom in and see how much did they adjust. It looks like they're coming down a little bit further, eating up more of this opening range. Let's see how that holds. It's kind of like right now, I don't think we had any real structure. Our structure is all the way down here. I don't think we're going to make it this far, but right now they're taking a lot of this internal structure. What I mean by that, if we kind of look at this here, we got this kind of pivot to make that higher high. Then we went even more vertical to about right here. So when we couldn't hold above this level, it basically made things difficult. And now that the New York session opened, if we can't get back up here, we're going to really put some problems for any upside. So patience, folks. We got 3 minutes into the opening range is set, and we'll play opening range breakout. And right now it looks like breakout to the downside. We got 3 minutes 30 seconds. Be patient, folks. And let me know if the music is too loud. All right, folks. How y'all doing? Good morning, Carl. Good morning, Lee. Good morning, Melina. How y'all doing? Good. You on break, right? There's no banking today, right? There's no banking today. You're off today. As early as possible so you can focus. Nice, nice. And we're getting a nice little continuation on this drop here. Let me go ahead and mark this off the 15 instead of the 5. I kind of did that on the 5. Oh no, y'all wasn't supposed to hear that yet. I was supposed to add the other one and repeat. All right, fine. I get to enjoy this. Come on. All right. Looks like it's not going to have no chill. Wifey's already in this one, so congratulations to her.
184, targeting my point 50, almost there.
Almost to the point 50. Let's see where that point 50 would be. Let's take you out. Oh, yeah, I could see that. And the funny thing about we gapped up on Sunday, they might eat this whole entire candle. They could do that. This will be here. Let's come in. Oh, you didn't see the 15-minute fair value gap?
272 ticks.
Yeah, because inside of here, you got a 15-minute fair value gap that was filling the rest of it. Then you got another one that was right here. But this is an overall 4-hour fair value gap that we're filling right now. Now, it can bounce here because that's the 4-hour fair value gap now.
We hit the
Yeah, that's my guy. All right, come on. Just at least give me something I can find as a structure. Don't just pour. Oh, yeah, that's what. So that's that 4 hour bounce. We got right in between, and I kind of explained y'all that cross candle. That's why that order block kind of gives you a little struggle. Now,
And we
this is a
also
very
hit,
massive
and we
move.
also hit the point 50.
No, we haven't touched it for 150. Not the daily. Not yet.
On QQQ, yeah.
On QQQ, remember, NQ and QQQ is two different animals.
I'm looking at it for my contract.
Yeah, all right. I'm just saying.
There's a pullback, then NQ does it.
And NQ has much more weight. All right, let me go ahead and say I got a little sneak peek into that one. I was supposed to have this on repeat. All right, we got 14 seconds. So what we want to see is a 5-minute close below the next level, which is more than likely going to be bearish, and then that'll be our order block hold, and then we just could accumulate, which is going to be real tough. You could kind of see it looks very jambalaya rice right here, and give us a nice little toughie. But the momentum is kind of strong. Oof. Dang, did you just see that?
On my QQQ puts.
All right, so I would say, oof.
91%.
I wanted to wait for the candle to close. We got, yeah, Melina, don't jump in just yet. Yeah, because they can pull it back. Yeah, this is how the market can set up some of those. Let me get rid of this fair value gap. Set up kind of like a FOMO entry. So all my new folks, especially you on YouTube, please do not just panic and jump into this. Do not do it. All right, so this is the 50%. We might bounce off the 50%. Let's see what happens. 677.75. That's the level. All right, let me get my options underway because this thing just took off like a bat out of it. They go. All right, so we just touched it. Let's see if we get a bounce here. Be careful for potential bull traps. Okay.
T-Mobile pushing too. T-Mobile, I'm at 142%.
T-Mobile's downside or upside?
Downside, I know, upside. Remember them puts you was like T-Mobile move slow?
Yeah.
Boy, they moving.
Yeah. Oh, you talking about from a couple weeks ago?
Remember yesterday, he was like, damn, T-Mobile, they slow. No,
oh, no,
AT&T.
AT&T.
Yeah.
AT&T,
that's what
oh, that's funny. As soon as you said T-Mobile, T-Mobile just popped up on my list just now. Let's see what's going on with T-Mobile.
I spoke into existence. I was in the spirit.
All right, TMUSA. TMUSA is giving us a nice little push. This is in my swing trades versus scalps. Let's see what this is looking like. We had a massive move, like we were going to the downside. Looks like they are taking that out. Let's go ahead and bring this in. This was, when did this kind of trigger? Oh, that's why I'm on the wrong time frame. 2 hour. All right, they attempted to short it, and now they're liquidating the bears. Dividends is coming up, so this might not last too long. So I would say, if anything, if you're going to take it on a reversal, this is what was the move, and this is who they're liquidating right now. And now they're breaking through. So probably recapture this wick. Looking for possibly 211. Now, here's something fun, though. If this thing really holds well at that 210 level, I would even target 220, maybe even 214 for some TMUSA swings. Actually, let me write that down. I might actually toy with that if this thing holds that level. TMUS 211. All right, let's get back over to NQ because they over here still dropping like a lead weight. And we're getting close to our 5-minute threshold. They're trying to capture this fair value gap. Now, this 4-hour fair value gap is going to be tricky. You see how this fair value gap is kind of held right here? I want to say this was yesterday's opening range. So they could use that as a bounce. It just depends on how the market responds to it. Oof, look at that. Might have to just find a scalping spot. You can't even really wait for this 5-minute to close. That was the move, Melina. The one that you were talking about? That was the move, and just holding on to it.
I got 140% on my QQQ.
Oh, you did a 1 minute orb on this? That I'm telling you, the orbs is so powerful because again, it's as if it respects the rules. Now, normally when you do that one, how much ticks do you aim for? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those, and that's why I made that comment was because it's more of a theta reason. Because imagine if you took those overnight puts, you would have opened up red first because it kind of stagnated because of the theta, and then now this drop probably started at print. So I probably yeah. Oh, you did it on NQ, not options. This did not give me no retracement.
Then my next box is
Oh, got
52.
you. Yeah, I'm the same way. I practice a little bit, but sometimes I'm like, nah, I'm just gonna focus on just the one or the other. Hmm. I would say if you can try to come up with like a time frame, like let's just say, because I'm working on that myself. Like at 9:30, I already know I'm gonna do orb, right? And that's more than likely gonna be on futures. But at 12 o'clock, where everything kind of slowed down, I feel like I'm better at options than I am when I'm trying to do the orb and the options at the same time. All right, so we just bounced off the 618.
Yeah, and that I got a box on QQQ right there with that in.
Yeah,
Got us. It could give us a morning star.
yeah. I wonder how far they're gonna take this, cause yeah, I'm curious of this action right here on what they plan to do. Oh no, I am a no, it's all good. I'm a proponent of trying to stick with the orb, so I'm thinking this is retracement just for us to go get lower. That's how I'm looking at it. All right, so we penetrated that. So we're gonna leave that one alone. Let's see if it gives us some sense of a reversal anywhere. Let me get my other chart up. NQ. Oh no, I love high time frame EMAs. I got a 400. 400, 800, 200 on a 15 minute.
Zion?
Let's see.
Here.
Oh, so they kind of came back to dance on it. Now be careful because we're coming back to that bearish line. Let's see what they do. 500 ticks just on that wick.
Yeah, I closed my trade. Look,
Yeah, but there's
look
still
at my
some
box.
targets.
I whipped that in.
Yeah.
I got as soon as they started making a whip.
Mm-hmm. All right, looking forward to kind of go back down from here. Let's see if that actually happens. Because we could come all the way back to stranger danger. That's how crazy this move is, especially with that.
V-shape recovery.
That's what they're trying to pull off right now. All right, here comes that fair value gap from the previous 5 minute. Let's see if they take something out here. I'm looking for them to break the 700 level. Let's see if we can get that. Look like they're trying to dance on it. Just a little bit lower. All right, we just broke it. They're using it as a bounce area. All right, they're trying to push it right back up. They're using this area as a pivot. We'll see if they can get a second touch out of that. They're trying to keep it inside of the range and try to recapture the fair value gap that stepped into here. In because I waited for the. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. I'm trying to be as humble as possible. Appreciate that. Thank you. That way I don't have to worry about the YouTube copyright rights. So this is actually created by me. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right, they just liquidated the 45-minute bears that was trying to step into here. So be careful here. Let's see if they grab more liquidity or does it reverse over. Yes, sir. Uh, yep. And it's all levels. That's all they're doing. Hmm. But that's the why Molina's trade was solid because even though it was you're still waiting for orb, that's where sometimes I scale into position. So let's just say you saw that it was coming to the 200, but the momentum's so violent, maybe go with something super light so that way if it pulls back on you, you can get out. But then as soon as it breaks the 200, you're like, oh man, there's no way we don't touch the 400, and then you can turn that as your target and add more at the same time. The fact. Oh yeah, Javi does 2 minutes. They're all good. All of them are good. Let's see if this is right down. I'm looking for 740 to be a tough area. See if they're gonna go ahead and push this right back using the fair value gap that was in the bearish side. They're trying to liquidate them again. Let's see if they can. They're liquidating. It would scare them off around the level of 776. Look for 776 bullish, 740 bearish right now. The world applies. Yeah, I think we're gonna get a push right here. All right, we're gonna try to take this up right here using that momentum because I think we're gonna fill this whole fair value gap. Let's see if we can get at least to stranger danger. If we break above stranger danger, I might go ahead and add to this position and continue up. Let's see how the market responds. Don't you dare flatten out now. We're going to stranger danger at the very least. Come on, baby, get to that stranger danger. Something a little bit more egregious. I hate to scare people because I be like, I drop down to like as much as the 1 second sometimes. Okay, good, good. Did it tap it? It barely tapped it. You telling me you're gonna start selling off before you even get there? That's why I said Stranger Danger is just one of those strange places. It didn't touch it, but now it's rejecting as if it touches it. Come on, baby, get up there. There we go. Give me my money back. Oh, I don't keep count. I put my thing on dollars a few months ago. That was like I lost 600 down because I was like, okay, we're probably gonna go ahead and reject, and that didn't happen. And then now I just made 600 back, so it's like it basically break even. Yeah, and it's touching one of my EMAs. Well, the V shape is not complete yet, but it's getting there. Yeah, they basically are trying to trap the bears. Now, there's a lot of noise down at 24,400. I almost want to take some December puts. That's how crazy it is. All right, it's 10 o'clock, so we're going to see what the next hour has, and then we're going to break down. So stay really connected. We're going to break down scalps and swing trades for all y'all over at YouTube. Oh, no worries. No worries. I understand. But did you make your goal for the day, though? Nah, yeah, the purpose is getting the goal. As long as you get to your goal, that's what we want. All right, have a great day. All right, any questions as this is setting up this next 1 hour before I get into straight scalpy mode right now? That's that 800 level. We had a lot of trouble with that 800 level yesterday. Right here. We was trying to get to them from here. They struggled. It broke through, held up here. So that 800 level might be another rejection point as they make this turn into more of a double top. As the bulls are trying to get to 25,000. All right, that was a solid scalp. I'm gonna just be patient right now. Let's just drop this leverage a little bit more, and let's see if we can find something out of our alerts that just came through. Like I said, down below, you can go ahead and sign up and subscribe. Let's see. All right. Not investor relations, not right now. Let's go to tickers. Let's see what we got. Oh, SoFi puts. Now, SoFi has been struggling a little bit, and if there's anywhere they're going to take money out of, it's probably the smaller companies before they do the larger companies. So if you want to be a little bearish on this bad boy right here, we would be looking at, and this is a perfect one, 15-minute. We would be looking at possibly something along the lines of an entry here, and our close under 26. Oh, it's almost coming there too. We might get that now. 26. What number is that? I can't even see it because this thing is in my way. How do I turn that off? Lines, price line. Nope. Lines, price line. And labels.
I was gonna take this drop.
Oh my God, 26.96. So basically $27. That's the one we're looking for. All right, so we're getting that cross. We just need to close below this level. So you can be patient, or if you want to be aggressive, you can get in right now. But these are our targets. You can see the pre-market, the market already touched that level. So a close below would be preferable because you already see how high they could bounce it after signaling an entry. All right, so just be patient and you can decide accordingly. Let's get back over to NQ because I was just in this and I could have played this right back down. Are you telling me that? Oh Lord, look at that move. And I was just saying that 800 level was going to be tough. I should have took this down.
They rejected my channel so perfectly. They might push up now.
That was a perfect bump and run on the 1 second. Man, damn it, man. And that was that 7. Remember I said 740 was going to be a tough area? Look what happened on the 1 minute at 740. Right here. They was like, all right, we're going to bounce off of 756. Save it. And then there was like, they can't save it. Dump. All right, we got a minute and 7 seconds. They could recover this whole entire thing, so be careful. because we are still in the golden zone the previous day. Do not just jump into a trade because you wanna. Jump into trade based on structure, and you'll be fine.
I got 185 ticks.
Oh, you weren't reactive. You just jumped in.
No, I got in when they made that big candle. I got in on the third candle.
I thought we was
like
gonna
a
get a little
W.
bit for a cool down before they made this.
So I'm looking at it like a W.
All right, watch out for them trying to pull the back. This might be the push back up. Needed to hold the 683. Unless they grab liquidity. And if they grab liquidity, my target would be 606. All right, they just grabbed recent liquidity. Can we get back above 685? Magnus JD. Come on, baby. Oh, man. Yeah, they building an order block here. Someone's going to lose here. Which one is it? We got deeper to the downside now. All right, we're going to get one more scalping before I start breaking down some of the stuff and switch up the track as well. Oh, that's the move I was looking for. Let's see if I can grab that. Let's see if this is going to hold. They grabbing that liquidity there. Let's see if we can break structure here. Come on, break the structure. Come on, baby. There we go. There we go. There we go. Get up there. Get up in there. Get up in there. One more push. There we go. Getting through those volume levels. Ah, they knocked me out. That was a good scalp. That was a good $300 move right there. Probably could have added to my position.
Mommy, I have 2 rings.
All right, we'll do the breakdown of scalping and swing trades at 10:10. Let's get that going then. All right, so probably a little bit of retracement for them to go for the next structure. Right now, we're between some very interesting internal structures. Let's see, this and this. Okay. Watch out for that 675, 670 level if this thing does push right back down, as we are rejecting the bearish line and we didn't get all of the fair value gap here. So if we didn't get all of the fair value gap on this, so they could come back for all of it, but if they don't, we could get ourselves a nice little rejection. Let me see what the SoFi puts are doing, because it's really, ooh, really? That's what I said. Wait for the candle close. Look what they're doing. They're just grabbing liquidity. Be smart, folks. Be smart. All right.
I got 52%.
I didn't see that. I was looking for that 740 again. Yeah, I was going to take it back up as soon as we cross 740, but we're at structure again. I'm going to see if we can hold 740. Yeah, I could have got a re-entry to the upside. I was trailing it kind of tight anyway, so. They're trying to reject here. Current pivot is sitting at 708. If we fell 740, look for this to kind of come down into 708. Okay, we just broke out of structure and they're going to attack the next pivot. Looking for 782. Too small of a target for me, so I'm not going to take this one. I get more benefit to the downside, so I'm going to look for 755 to fail if it does. All right, so that's a 782. Now they're trying to get that 800 again and look for a smack in the face when it gets to stranger danger. I told you, it acts like a magnet. Then when it feels like it, it bury bonds and it pushes it all the way down here. They're grabbing sell side liquidity against them right here, which is telling us that we got ourselves a structure that kind of looks like this, and we got an internal structure that kind of looks like this. So there's a lot of bullish momentum all inside of this area, that is trying to push the market right back up. I don't know if their target is this fair value gap, but since they're recent buyers, they might get themselves liquidated. I'm looking for 752 to fail. If that's the case, then I'm probably going to play it down. Unless they buy the dip and continue this to the upside. Failing. Let's see. I'm gonna risk about 20 to 50 bucks here. Oh, whoa, that was a nice little spike. Don't you dare.
It was a kick that it just took out on PPQ.
Are you gonna hold this? Yeah, they took that. That was a nasty little bounce. I was looking for it to break down.
It literally whipped at a kick and pushed up. Now 30 seconds left to kick to the downside.
Yeah, they just grabbed liquidity on that. They're trying to get another push up. They really want that 800 level. We're gonna check out Upstart as well. Keep that in mind. 3 W's, that's my guy. All right. Yeah, we're probably going to start switching over to swing trading. I was trying to see if I can capitalize on another scalp. But it looks like we're going to get into a little toughie. I'm going to see if we can break that structure at 54 again. If it breaks again, I'm going to take it short. Alright, that's that 54. Come on, come on, come on. What are you about to do? There we go.
Okay.
Let's get these targets. Uh-huh. That was an old pivot there. Don't you dare, don't you dare, don't you dare, don't you dare, don't you dare. Come on. Oh, they are buying the dip out of this thing. Come on, come
When
on.
does November end? On the 31 or on the 3rd?
30th. We're coming back outside the opening range. I want this bottom. They're like, no, we're not going to give it. Look at that. Look at that violence.
And it's the 3rd.
Let me take that $200 before all hell breaks loose.
5 more days. There's 28 more days.
I'm trying to concentrate on trades as well. We got 3 minutes into this 5-minute close. So I was like, let me take my money now. I'll find a better spot. And if it closed below here, then I'll go ahead and, thank you. I'll go ahead and play it more to the downside.
Why are you dead?
Yeah, they trying their best to use this area here to bring this down, but we're breaking. As long as we don't break above 775, there's no sell side liquidity for them to get. Oh, no worries. Absolutely. It's too choppy anyway, so you're not missing much. All right, have a great day. Yeah, we're not going to get that 5-minute close. I was going to see if we could get that before I start breaking down the swings and scalps. We're just really wedging price. You could kind of see that. Like we're coming through like this. Yeah, it's respecting the line very, very heavily. Here comes that target I was telling you, that one right there. So that's going to make things very bullish.
Yeah, W pattern still.
Oh, they rejected it kind of hard. I thought I was going to get a little bit more of a push than that. I'll give it a second chance. Play it back to stranger danger. but this thing is like, it looks like it wants to break down. There's that break. I'm looking for it to break 718 before I short it. Lesson every single time. All right, looks like they're trying to reuse 718 to trap the bears here. And we got 21 seconds. Trying to see if this is the momentum that brings us to close that 5 minute below. And it looks like that is not the case. So we're going to get a brand new 15 minute. So that said, let's go ahead and check out some of these swing trades and these scalps. Let's not force ourselves into something that can destroy us in the long run. All right, let's see what we got. So far, let me come back over to this. And this is why it's so important whenever you see the alerts come in through the alert system, you know, just literally just have your setup done. Like put the levels. That's what we was looking for in a short, because that was the direction we was going to. Actually, let me correct that. Roughly about right here. And that was our entry. They pulled it right back. Now, none of these closed below here. The trade is still alive, or the setup is still alive. So if I can get a 15 minute to close below here, I would then assume the next 15 minute can continue with another red candle. That's what I'm looking for. Let's see. Do I have anything else in the scalps? I already covered that. Yeah, I covered all the ones on the scalp. So we're going to go ahead and move on for that. Let's go ahead and check out some of the swing trades. Let's see what's out there. Now, my swing trades, some of them are for shares, because I got some people that does shares. But mostly it is option contracts. You just got to find the ones that are your favorite. Don't just run after everything. At 9:30, Carvana. You don't know who they are, which is very hilarious. I don't even know what they do, because the car industry is getting their butts whipped. But for some reason, this company is still viable. So let's see. I would say a nice close above 334 would be key. I would look for some contracts like 367, maybe 370, 375, 365, somewhere around there contracts. And I'll just be playing it until about 350, 347. I'll get the TP1 and then call it a day. But the goal is a candle close above this level here. Actually, let me put this also in my list. Where's my other list? There it is. Let me write this down. CVNA, and we're looking for 334 calls. As far as time frame, I would say if you're going to go ahead and do something with a 2-hour chart, I would say try to get to the next quarter. That would be the safest. And again, high risk, high reward. So low risk, going to be low reward. You might hear some people say, oh, I got like 150, 200%, or whatever the case may be. You can't like worry about that. You'll drive yourself crazy. Just worry about the trade that's presented in front of you. And I would say just take your percentage. If it's 20%, 30%, or whatever the case may be, just run with it. Don't get yourself completely wrapped up on, oh, I should have this and I should have that, or whatever the case may be. Now, if you want to go a little bit, actually, December 19th would be the one I would aim for. And that probably give you some really, really good pop out of that. But keep that in mind, that stop loss is right there. It's right around the corner at 326. And then I would prefer the March contract, which ends in the third week of March. I don't know what date that is, but check that out. And I'll be looking at 370, 375 for that. But since we got just under a month, you might get some good multiplier out of the one in December. So just keep that in mind. What else I have? I have something from a share side. I think I'll go ahead and cover that for those that are watching this later. Let's talk about Upstart. Now, Upstart, it's a ticker that is very confusing because this one they use AI to do underwriting loans. That's the best way to explain what this company does. And it's been on a decline for the longest. I thought it was going to break to 100, but they had a massive sell-off that happened in the middle of July, and it has not really recovered. But if we really look at this as a whole, ever since it had this drop, nothing just goes vertically down without at least some type of reprieve or some type of rebalancing or something that just lets the market say, hey, enough is enough, right? So that's where this kind of comes in. And then we got this right here. Oh, come on, get there. All right, got this one right here. That's another trend. And then what we're breaking right now is the trend that started from about right here. And we were making lower lows until we stopped making lower lows right here. So this is a very, very tight structure if you want it to be a little ballsy. Even though the alert system is saying, hey, short, there's times where the short is saying, hey, get out of the trade, but it's mostly that the market is reversing because the algo does not recognize, like this one was right here. Nice little move to the downside. They liquidated, but it didn't go nowhere. Then guess what? When it re-entered here, it flew from that point on. Trade was dead, but if you marked off your level and do proper trades, protocols and fundamentals, you would have found out that this was not going anywhere, especially when it didn't break the neckline, right? So that's what I'm kind of considering here, is that they attempted to push it up here, they failed, and then now they give another signal and they're liquidating the bears again, and they're going to try to attempt to push it right back up. So if there was a trade that I would be looking for here, it'll probably be something that looks very similar to like this, and we already got most of the move here, but I would love to get this entire leg of that move, which would be something similar to like this. Wait for it to get above 41.34, and then I could be targeting like $60 contracts, but it would be predicated to them breaking. Put an alert right here. Be predicated to them breaking UPST 41.34. It might be next week, it might be next month, who knows, but that's what I would be relatively aiming for. Let's see what else we got. LDI, let's go over there. This is Loan Depot. Everyone, and when I mean everyone, I'm talking about like a firm, all the ones that's doing lending, all of that, and they got their names all over all types of like billboards and stuff like that. So for them to be where they are right now, I do believe they gotta save themselves. They're gonna have to do like a reverse split. If they don't do a reverse split, you can see this coming down to the dirt, and that could cause some really bad problems. Hey, good morning, Giant. Welcome to the party. Hopefully you had a good day. Good morning. All right. So right now, Loan Depot is kind of like having its come to Jesus moment. It's trying to break out a structure like this, and they're using this microstructure to push back up. Again, this would be considered a share type of play more than an option play. But if you are right, there's a possibility we could come all the way back up into like 380. That's $1 movement. So if you had 100 shares, that's $100. That's how this kind of works out. I know some of y'all probably like, well, JD, I only do options. Listen, I have some people that ask me, they're like, hey, can you give me some of the stuff on shares too? Because I'm always looking for the next big thing. And this is my attempt to actually provide that based on those parameters. So please be patient. All right. Excuse me. And just find, when you get into the system, just find your favorite tickers. That's the goal. All right, let's go over to investor relations. Let's talk about some of the higher leap plays. Oh, actually, I take that back. I forgot to give some entry levels. I would have loved to be in already, kind of something like that. And that's the target. So if you could get something close to 273, then get in. That'll be great, especially in this pullback. But make sure you watch for your reversals. Investor relations, got a couple things that I want to key off on. I think I'm going to do AMD, ORLA, which is a mining for gold, and PanW. We'll do those three, and then we'll probably wrap up for you, YouTube. All right, so let's start with AMD. AMD looks like this. Come on, give me my AMD. There we go. All right, so this one's going to be on a larger scale. So we went to scalping. That was like 15 minutes. We kind of go into what it looks like and what we're aiming for, whatever the case may be. We're talking about day trading, which is those day swings. Sometimes you can hold it for a week. You get aim for that. That's the 2 hour. And right now we're going to go ahead and look at something a little bit more broader scale, assuming that we don't get hit with a recession. All right. Oh, okay, no problem, Carl. We'll catch up. Right. So at the end of the day, this is what the game plan is. So you want to kind of get a little bit of idea with the weekly. If we can see on the weekly, this is more so a pullback than a reversal on AMD. If we can squeeze this chart, you'll see what I mean. So we've been running for a while, especially after they made new highs over at this level, and they failed to hold that level. What was previous resistance turns into support. So now what do we do with this information? What we're going to be looking for is that we got a nice little uptrend right here. So there's one structure right here that got tested, and we're right here, and they could be testing the original structure from March. If y'all don't know what March is, that's when Trump started talking about the tariffs. The rumors were starting to pass by, and people were positioning themselves. We had those spikes all over of volatility, and we also gapped up after a very strong earnings cycle on AMD. So how do you dissect all this information? If I was a gambling man, which I'm not, and I wanted to go ahead and find a nice little structure, the first one I would probably be looking at is the fact that we had a nice little pullback into this area, and we're wedging price. So there's got to be a winner and there's got to be a loser, and that's where the liquidity comes in. You go take other people's liquidity. If we're going to fill the rest of this gap, that will help us come to this trend line. But that means if the gap filled, that means we will be breaking structure. That's what you don't want to see for your leaps, right? Because that structure means price would be coming down from here to here, and then from here down to something like that. And you don't want to see something like that. You want to kind of see it do something of a bounce before that actually happens. What would that look like? Well, maybe it'll just struggle a little bit, come down to this area, maybe wick through, but at the end of the day, it starts to push up. And that's what you want to kind of see on that regards. That way we know that this is holding support. It can poke through structure, but it can't break structure. That's the key part to it. So let's just keep that in mind when we're looking at AMD for this upside. And then we're going to go ahead and do with the daily. Let's see what this looks like. Yeah, so we kind of gap down like they're trying to fill right here. The safer trade would be probably around here, looking for us to get to that upside above the entry at 234. And then it continues up into that area. But we've already exhausted this move. So I think we got one more move left, but it got to get supporters to get there. So what that would look like, it would look something like this. Above 250, 251. So what happens here is based on this parameter here. Look for AMD to hold 182, 186 before it starts pushing up. Let me go ahead and put myself a nice little alert here. Call this oversold. And then I'm going to go ahead and put one right at about 185. I think I'm going to do that one. Let's call this 185. And then I'm going to put an alert here. Looking for the bounce. All right, so we kind of got a little bit of levels that we could be looking for AMD, and that would then put enough pressure on the bears for them to reconsider holding this down, and they got to start taking their profits. As they take their profits, we take their liquidity. All right, so that's AMD. What was the next one I said? ORLA. So ORLA is one that is in gold mining, and it kind of follows suit with the rest of gold. Let me kind of come to the weekly. You can kind of see.
Sydney?
But this one is different. The way it's designed, it's almost like it's fighting the trend, almost like the shareholders are selling their position. Now, did they get better prices every time here? Did the market get better prices down here? Who knows? But I don't care about that. We're worried about the chart. It's not doing the same as the rest of gold. Gold has been going and just kind of pushed in itself. So let's go ahead and see what it can do here. If I was looking for something, we're looking for like some type of wedging action to happen. Something like this. And this one right here. Almost like price is trying to fight to get back higher. So I would say I would not be bullish until we get back above $13. And then if it's down here, be bearish around 945. This lets us know that the bulls was not strong enough to push back the bears, and they were weak enough not to break out this area. That's where you get a lot of those wedges. All right, and I'm gonna give y'all one more YouTube before we get out of here. I think I said Pan W, right? I got CRM, Walmart, but let's go with Pan W because I love cybersecurity. Still in the tech space, still in the NASDAQ. It does a lot of good stuff. But, and then if we're dealing with AI revolution, we don't want hackers going into our AI and, doing something crazy that they're not supposed to do. So that's where this kind of comes into play. So if we kind of look at this, ever since 2023 on the recovery, this thing has been just pushing to the upside. And they did have the little hiccup when CrowdStrike kind of pushed them down because the whole space was affected. They thought we was getting hacked, but you can kind of see we got a nice little move right here, and we're here right now. This is a retest here. Now, what I don't like about it is that we kind of bounced off this area and we're back way too quickly. They take the elevator down while they take the stairs up. Elevator down, stairs up, right? So this is letting me know that there's some type of profit taking happening at these peaks. Is it saying that this is going to come down to the dirt? No, I'm not going to say that, but I would say I would love for this order block that's right here to kind of hold. So as long as Pan W doesn't break below this level, I can feel a little confident that it's going to continue to the upside, and maybe they could get rid of some of that selling pressure. Where's our selling pressure? We got this one here, and then we got this one here. It's not ready for a trade, but if you wanted to do something relatively risky, right, you would be looking at something that looks like this, right? This is just coming back after making the move for an entry, but it's going to give you a shallow bounce back up, kind of like a dead cat bounce. And then they're going to go ahead and try to get into that 192 to 200 level. If that is the case, that should give some pressure and maybe get all-time highs. But they've already exhausted this. They've already swept the supporters from here. Now you're relying on the supporters from here. All right? So that said, YouTube, I'm going to go ahead and let y'all go so that way I can get back to my scalping. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and the bell button, and let your friends know that I am online giving y'all as much knowledge as possible. And I bid you a fine farewell. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Look at them reckless and destructive. Oh yeah. I'm surrounded by the 3 W's, yeah, that's my guy. Why I'm in the market, what I see inside. When it's time to exit, I don't fight the ride. He's in my process, profit in my mind. Surrounded by the 3 W's, wipe me a line. Discipline, the weapon that money can buy. Charge don't lie, they just test your grind. Every loss a lesson, I'm refined by design. Early in the morning, chart still gray. Coffee in my cup, discipline and play. Why I'm here, not for luck, but to master the wave. I ain't gambling, I'm studying the candles they made. Every week, tell a story, every line got a soul. Patience the price for the dreams that I hold. They chase green, I chase control. Yep, small, think big, let the plan unfold. What's my entry when the market in rhythm? Emotions gone silent, that's how I listen. Focus on price, not the noise or the hype. Variations of profit, discipline the light. When they exit, it's the art of release. Not greed or fear, just profit and peace. Win or lose, I ain't breaking my code. Cause the 3 does use the map to the road I chose. Surrounded by the 3 W's, yeah, that's my guy. Why I move with purpose, what keep me aligned. When I close the trade, I ain't mad at the signs. Cause I'm grateful for the lesson every single time.
Surrounded by the 3 W's, yeah, that's my guy. Why I move with purpose, what keeps me alive. When I close the trade, I ain't mad at the signs. Cause I'm grateful for the lesson every single time. Surrounded by the 3 W's, yeah, that's my guy. Why I move with purpose, what keeps me alive. When I close the trade, I ain't mad at the signs. Cause I'm grateful for the lesson every single time. Surrounded by the 3.
Look at them reckless and destructive.